Bonsoir amigos, me llamo Madhusudhan and I'm using this language these days to introduce myself. This is all I know in Italian. So I know you have read the caption and all, so let us just jump to the topic. So the first point, don't avoid but control the nature of change, anti-inertia. So again, it's a philosophy thing that I realized recently did my and formulated it recently. Humans like change. Like, I know it's a very weird thing to say because everyone gets so upset when people around them change, but actually you yourself like change. Let me give you a very very relevant example. So this is something I've seen. People or students, everyone was so much into being at home, like when they had open to go anywhere. For example, people wanted to have more days of work from home, like IT professional people. I have heard it from them. And students like me myself did not want to go to school. And not just me, there were some other very extroverted and school friendly people who were good in school, if you want to know by that. They also did not want to go to school many times, like they also wanted to spend time alone. But now, after all this chaos and 2 years of sitting at home, everyone wants to go to school, everyone wants to go to their work. So if you see, I know you are seeing it from a small scale, that on a small scale people don't like change. But if you jump to the large scale, like if you have a 10-year cycle, if you see from a 10-year perspective, then people do like change. Everyone, what they like is actually, the fun part was when the lockdown was starting, everyone was getting to be their home all the time, rest and all. And again, there will be fun when the lockdown will end and everyone will go to explore, and then again they will be kind of habited of that thing, and then again it will be boring. So actually people like change. It's opposite of the nature laws of physics, inertia. A body does not want to be in the state that it is on longer term. They want adventure, they want something different. So, and if you want something different, you want change. So that's just a one thing. So the point being is, don't avoid it. I have seen people, as I said initially, we should not change, people should not change. I like the ones who change with time. When people that's all foolish and uh, unwise, I like to use that for now. So don't avoid it, just use it, or control the nature of change. Like, if you can use it with respect to being productive and relaxing. So we all neither like to relax, neither like to be productive, or neither like to doing our work. We all want change. So it's like, while we are working a lot, we want to relax. And you can just try it. Might have tried in the lockdown. You can't even relax for long. You will have to work. Your mind will not be, you will not be sane. So it's not like we want to be relaxed or we want to work. We want both, but in a good form. No one can eat a lot of anything. So the thing is that you should do is, you should control it. Like, if you can control the amount of relaxation you need to do this amount of work, so you know that this relaxation is actually part of the work. It's not something different from the work. So that's the philosophy. Don't avoid it, because you like change. Everyone likes change, nature likes change. That's what you call evolution. Just be able to control it. And again, when it comes to how you should control it, again, blah blah blah, be enlightened in simple words. Next point, try to squeeze inputs to maximize outputs. Referencing from the last point. And again, I'm inspired to write this from the college processes that had been going on. Like, I've been seeing what are the actual requirements in this world, and what do good colleges or the world ranked colleges require. For example, MIT, Stanford, or other universities of other countries. Them on surface you might see it as different appearances. Again, implementations are different. Like, you want 70% of co-curricular activities, 70% of things like including your internships and what you have done besides study, and then 30% academics and study. One another way is to see this, or we can say core way, if you're not talking my term. Then what they're saying is how much you have taken input and how much you have given output should be more than input. Again, I have read this kind of formula thing. There was exam of a friend of mine, and it was thing like, output upon input is equal to productivity or profit. I don't remember, but this is the thing. What you should try to do in life in general is try to minimize the inputs and maximize the outputs. The more amount of things you can give to the world, you should try to maximize that and minimize the amount of things you need to give that output. So, like, try to be efficient if you want to talk it, but not efficient with respect to just doing your work. try to control how much information you need to make new information, to make new knowledge. And by making new knowledge I mean invention. How much are you required to read 2 books or 10 books to write a theory or a thesis that have something new in it, not just notes of the theory or that books or those books. So try to minimize your inputs or squeeze your inputs. Like when you will do this, minimize your inputs, and you'll have to read 2 books in such a way, from such perceptions, from different perception, in that depth that you can write a thesis. But again, if you're reading 10 books and writing, then you're not required to go deep in one book, because in some or other book the topic will be covered. You're not required to read between lines, so actually you are not being smart. So like kind of limit your resources, or try to squeeze your inputs, and again try to maximize your output. Third point, philosophy is physics from which politics is engineered. This I realized I can say a year ago, but now I'm seeing it in action after reading all the history of world, American history, European history, Indian history. But and again, about the thing that I found common is all of the revolution and changes in the world starts from philosopher, be it in field of history, be it in field of physics, be it in field of computer science. I don't know about commerce, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure that it might be some philosopher who have given the concept of money. So like with respect to history, I can say those two, what we call John Locke and Montesquieu, I guess that's the name, who talked about liberalism and separation of government. So they were just philosophers. They gave the concept, and then implementation of it, like the implementation of physics in engineering. Similarly, implementation of philosophy is politics. So if you are into hardcore of philosophy, given that you like, or you are listening to Madhusudhan talk about some stuff in a room, so you might be interested in philosophy. So if you're interested in philosophy, then also get at least some bit of information about politics, or have information about politics, because politics is actually implemented philosophy. Like again, I'd like to talk about this with respect to saying how much you are required to know physics to do philosophy, to do engineering, and is different than how much physics you are required to do to become a physicist. So same applies with here. And if you want to be a politician, wise one, good one, then you are required to be good at philosophy as well at core. That way only you can be good at politics. Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, and Abraham Lincoln. So yeah, just don't jump into politics. Be good with philosophy, and if you are good with philosophy, then also know some bit of engineering. Coming to the next point, short span of perceptional storage of human. This is a very good thing and a bad thing at the same time, but I think the good part is more, as far as I have experienced and realized. As I said, given the example with the first point, anti-inertia thing, so humans have very short range of perception. Like if you are asked to define your life, you will define it based on your, let's say, 1 year probably. Like with me it is the same thing. You'll have to go a bit deep to understand this, or you have to connect all the dots. Reality depend upon perception depend upon knowledge, and perception is short term, and therefore the more amount of knowledge you have, the better life you will live. And by knowledge, does not mean a specific field knowledge of physics, of mathematics. You can say philosophy in some sense, or stoicism, but the more knowledge you have, and given the perception range is fixed, like 1 year or 2 year, therefore the better quality of life you'll have, the physical existence life. I'm not going to the second part of the equation. The physical existence, the illusionary life, the better you'll have it, the more amount of knowledge you have about this. That is stoicism or philosophy. And there's this quotation also in Hindi, very simple, ye samay bhi beet jayega is the most powerful thing. So that only, but in a bit different and philosophical touch of Madhusudhan. Next point, enlightenment only soothes insides to have more control on outside. A big confusion many people have, a big myth that is around enlightenment. Once you become enlightened, you are good in every sense. Again, let me talk about the x plus iy equation, coming to the applying to it with respect to philosophy or with respect to enlightenment. There are two kind of worlds, you can say. Again, I don't want to make it mystical, but you can say internal world, external world, or you can, that's not very appropriate, internal, external, but you can say there are two worlds. One is this enlightenment world, and one is this spiritual world, or one is this external physical world, and one is this internal world. I don't know, I know internal is not a good word, but I don't know any word. Sorry for my bad vocabulary in English as well. So if you're enlightened, that just means that you have realized the nature of yourself, that you have realized that you are the god, that you have realized that what is your existence, all that stuff. That does not mean it will be beneficial with you with respect to solving a maths problem, or will help you in getting your text done. That is a different thing. Don't confuse it. The best part that you'll get is, given that you will be very sorted or very calmed or very peaceful in the inner world, in enlightenment world, so you won't be your work in the physical world will be much more nicer, because it's like there would be nothing to worry about. Even though you are being stressed, you are getting depressed, you are getting anxious by the things that is happening, like you are not getting into a college or like MIT, or you are not getting to do some creative work of making computer quantum existence. But then also there will be this part of you that will be peaceful, because there is this understanding and realization. Understanding, not realization, is amazing thing, because there is this realization that everything is an illusion, everything external is an illusion. Me not being productive is an illusion. Who is me to be productive? That me that I'm talking about is just a persona. And like there will be peace, but that does not mean that there will be everything will be what to say nice and smooth. You'll have to do your karma and all that stuff that goes as well. I think that is why people use spirituality as more common thing, that they want to be spiritual, not enlightened at first. By that spiritual, that only means that you get good with respect to these things. Spirituality is a continuous thing, and enlightenment is a kind of instantaneous thing. You realize your existence and you are enlightened, that's all. But spirituality, you have to practice it. It's not like you just become an illusionist. That's not the end. You have to be working upon illusions. You'll have to use those illusions in daily life. You'll have to live your life till whatever time is there. So spirituality is an ongoing thing, but enlightenment, you realize once you're all set to go, you're peaceful. It's like that. So don't confuse it. Like it's a very stupid thing to think that enlightened people don't get depressed or don't get anxious. They do get, but they don't get affected by it on the spiritual level. I don't know the word, on enlightenment level. It's just like if you have hand, and if you will put it on fire, you will feel hotness, you'll feel the burn. What enlightenment does is it gives you disconnection or dissensionless with this hand, that you're like, okay, it's a part of me, it's a required part of me to exist in this physical world. Let us put some gloves on it so that it does not get fire or does not get hot. That's all enlightenment does. It kind of disconnects you with this world, so you can think about it from broader perspective. Okay, two worlds divided, recognize your formation in the physical world. Joining with the previous point, two worlds divided, as I told you, internal world, external world. And now coming to the point of being recognized yourself, your formation. So I don't know if this is a real thing, but I personally have been feeling this and have been going through this from like beginning from along. There are two aspects: enlightenment world and this physical world. I don't know if enlightenment world is even a good word, and it is a mystical thing. Doctor Strange will come and do this and will open an enlightenment world, but I hope that makes some sense. So there is these two kind of worlds. One is internal world, enlightenment world, and this one is the physical world in which we live in, this reality or whatever it is. The Rumi has given some quotation where there is nothing, you'll meet me there, that's reality, whatever, I don't know, but that's what I'm talking about. There are two kind of things. One where enlightenment thing, so you might be all peaceful, and that's soon, what we call, I have heard that soon recently, that's why I've been in mind. So you might be someone who is neither emotional dominant nor logical dominant in that enlightenment, because if you are, then you are not enlightened, or you are not that influential. You are just here and thinking you are here. So you are just in the physical world, you're thinking, and that enlightenment field means you are neither emotional dominant nor logical dominant, because they both don't exist. They both are illusion. But when it comes to the physical world, even though you're enlightened, even though it's something like that, you in physical, as always, X plus IY have a different rules. It works in different ways. You cannot just say that it will be affected by this and this will be affected by this. So the same goes over here. This IY world, I guess it's by, in your case, in general case, it is by the general conditioning of society, how if free will is an illusion and all that stuff. But if you are kind of enlightened at very early stage, and if you have controlled your will, if you have controlled most of the variable that can control your will, free will is an illusion, I know that, but if you can control most of the variables that affect the free will, then you are kind of controlling the free will. But again, the variable that you're controlling is again illusion. So I'm not talking about that paradoxical thing. I'm talking about if you can control, and if you have done it, or if it had been done by someone else, and you are already in a person. Any person is illusion. So if you're a person, then just know what illusion you are in. That's the point, basically. Know your illusions. Don't run away from it. It's a part of you. It's like there are some good aspects and bad aspects. You cannot run from bad, so you cannot run away from your flaws. Flaws are part of you. That's the point. So but you must know your flaws. You should not run away from your flaws, but you must know your flaws. So the same goes here. Again, I'm not calling illusions flaws, but yeah, calling something good and bad at this philosophical level becomes insane and stupid. So know your illusions. By that, what I mean is, just know yourself enough in this physical world. I guess that's part of spirituality. So if you are spiritual, if you are at element of spirituality or realization, you'll already know this, because that's the path. Just know you are a logical dominant person or emotional dominant person. You must be any one of them. I don't think there is a middle ground, because I have not seen any cases of middle ground, neither in real life, neither in philosophies, neither in books. There are people in this world, they are obviously on middle ground. There is no ground in this enlightenment world, but in this ground there is a world. There you must be either in logical dominant, or you must be in the emotional dominant. I'm not saying by like 100% logical, 0% emotional, or 0% emotional, 100% logical. 30 to 30 70 60 40, let's say. But you should at least know which kind of person you are, so that you can compensate for your flaws. So yeah, that's all. Just know at least know your illusions. So yeah, that's all for this video. I know it was not a very good quality, and I'm trying to make it all good. So yeah, that's all. Have a good day. Bye bye. Enjoy. No. A presto.